свети, помилуй и люби. Раскрой секреты свой небесный. Меня в себе ты раствори. Пусть танец мой станет твоей песней. Пусть танец мой станет твоей песней. Боже, свети, помилуй и прости. Приснилась я, забылась честью. Меня к себе ты забери. В твоей любви не будет тесно. В твоей любви не будет тесно. Небо, солнце, сны, все мы дети Господа. Любви одна полотка, миром сытая. Но жажда у меня одна — вернуться, где ты есть всегда. Но жажда у меня одна — вернуться, где ты всегда. Mooji, свети, помилуй и люби. Раскрой секреты свой небесный. Меня в себе ты раствори. Пусть танец мой станет твоей песней. Пусть танец мой станет твоей песней. Mooji, свети, помилуй и прости. Приснилась я, забылась честью. Меня к себе ты забери. В твоей любви не будет тесно. В твоей любви не будет тесно. Небо, солнце, сны, все мы дети Господа. Любви одна полотка, миром сытая дана. Но жажда у меня одна — вернуться, где ты есть всегда. Но жажда у меня одна — вернуться, где ты всегда.
Okay. Om. Om. Namaste. Welcome all back to this second part of satsang today. And seems so many decided to stay for this part. And, for those not familiar with the satsang, it's a time when I go through some of the letters that are written and see what response comes. This one says, "Is-ness is my business." Thank you for helping me to forget everything I had learned so that I could remember that which cannot be forgotten. Eternal gratitude. Okay. Where to put these now? Okay, this one. Okay. Dear Master Mooji, I am completely realized being. What should I do now? Love, VJ. That's funny. That's funny. I am completely realized being. What should I do now? Who would be asking that question now? See, actually, because the self-realized being, meaning that they are totally at one with what is. They are not. It is like God saying, "Now that I know that I'm God, what am I going to do?" It's what I mean by this is everything is so resolved. The person is always wanting to know what I should do and how I should do it. So what I should do next, and how was I the last time I did something, and what if there's nothing to do, and what should I do, and this type of question. You see. You awake to the truth, you see that there's no such thing as some independent doer doing life. There's life. There's no one particularly living it. It's just you are life. And at the same time, the witnessing of life occurs within you at the same time. What does it mean? You just sit on some branch looking at life? No, this body has its own work to do. The movement, it's become so beautiful, you see? And then you're not attached, actually, in the way that the mind thinks of this life, very much in a very mental way, very much from a very insecure way. It wants to have name, it wants to have fame, it wants to have security, it needs all these things, which are imaginary to the one who knows. You move in life, you wake up, even you don't need a plan for life. Life is unfolding. It is just unfolding, it's beautiful. I use the example if this tree. Can you imagine it having this question? So today is a Sunday. Oh, well, maybe I just rest. Maybe tomorrow, if the sun comes out, maybe I put another leaf. Maybe no. It is just unfolding. Everything is unfolding. But mind feels it's not enough. You see, when we are the mind, things unfolding as they are is never enough because it has another agenda. It wants them to respond particularly well to its own self-image. But the one who is in harmony sees everything is unfolding in a harmony. The sense of the bitter and the sweet, everything is moving. You see? Actions, reactions, interactions, they are just playing. They play. Something finds that things unfold as they do and responds to them in a very appropriate way and in the highest way. Rarely does any encounter unfold in conflict. Where there might have been conflict in the past, now things get resolved in that peace and that grace of the self much more easily, because there isn't anyone receiving insults and attacks in that private way. It is seen that it's the play of delusions continue to play in the world also, but it's not a victim of this. It navigates beautifully, if you want to say it even navigates even. It moves spontaneously. I really don't intend to be always speaking about this thing. I want to now sit back and start to hear you reporting of your finding and say, hallelujah, so wonderful. Look, now you're in your own flow. You're in the cosmic flow dynamically, but at the same time in your heart, you are the silence in which all these movements are happening. It's not possible to capture it with words or to describe it in the way that it is much more than words can convey. So it's a little bit of a joke, I think. You see? I am completely realized being. What should I do now? Start always with the short ones, you see. Okay. Thank you, Mooji. Just a question. Is it possible for all those who follow the internet to have a hug before the camera? You have to have close-up. If the question does not seem silly, and if yes, thank you. From France. Is mean France the name or the country? This is from France, or somewhere in France. Is it possible for all those who follow the internet to have a hug before the camera? It would be good. So, did it work? I don't know. Thank you. Thanks to your loving humor, it all became clear. Today I have seen or been myself, and it was all totally clear. So clear that it felt as if there's no reason to be alarmed anymore. The last guy to come to you gave me the lesson to never trust the ego and never settle as if I have done it. Don't settle for this feeling, I have done it, you see. The sneaky ego can come and still it all and still it's all and steal. Oh, you wrote this one? Okay. So the sneaky ego can come and steal it all steal it all in an instant. I put my trust in God and you that the illusion of personhood will clear quickly again and the dream would be seen for what it really is. Love you and trust your pointings more than ever. Almag. That's good. The sneaky ego can come and steal all in an instant, you see. But now that you're awake, it would be like thieves in an empty house. You see? Because you are not collecting anything for anything to steal. It's like fishing in the Dead Sea. Are there fishes in the Dead Sea, by the way? Dead fishes? I don't know. Okay. So, so today I've seen, or I've been myself, and it was all totally clear. So clear that it felt as if there's no reason to be alarmed anymore. The last guy to come to you gave me the lesson to never trust the ego and never settle as if I have done it. The sneaky ego can come and steal it all in an instant. I put my trust in God and knew that the illusion of personhood will clear quickly again, and the dream would be seen for what it really is. Yes, yeah. It is like a moment of hypnosis, and as soon as you wake up to the truth of it, it was like, wow, what was that? That I was not. It was as though I was not sitting in my true place. But then it's clear. Maybe one time this sneaky ego will play, and you'll be very present. And it will, if you are present with it, it will not feel like sneaky ego. He hasn't sneaked away anything. Once you see things for what they are, you see. You cannot be tempted unless you are temptable. So, when your eyes are open, the eyes of your heart are open in this way, it's not easy to be deceived, you know. And even if it happens like that, it's only momentary. No big deal is made of this, you know. So, that's good. Namaskar Mooji. I am desperate to attend your satsang in person, and I'm feeling this can help realize, but traveling all along from India is really a big deal for me, both in terms of money and individually. Since from 3 years I am facing health issues, one after another, where I have reached the conclusion with experience that no material thing doesn't get you permanent happiness. In other words, no material thing will bring you permanent happiness. You see? Yeah, so that was a conclusion that came through experience, that no material thing can guarantee you permanent happiness. I'm still feeling that I should be healthy and live long life, but don't know what I want to live. Body pains and my mind scares me that something wrong will happen with my person identity. So I am ready to take risk traveling all along to you, if you assure me I can lose my identity there. I don't want to waste this life without realization. This is wise attitude. Thank you for taking my question, the person who wants to know who I am. You see. Sometimes people, they push through their challenges. One person also came from Australia for one satsang into London, and also is terrified of flying. A long, long way to live if you're terrified of flying. You want to go to England for one satsang. And one friend of ours comes from Japan. He's working with the government, so he only has very short holiday each year. And each year he travels for maybe 3 days. And he's only able to come to India for 1.5 days. So maybe 2 days. 1.5 days he comes, then he has to go back for for satsang and doesn't speak English. You think, why you don't just stay home, watch it on TV or something like this? He wants to come. Why? Because for him it's the most important thing. You get 5-day holiday, 6-day holiday, spend 3 days traveling to have 1.5 days in satsang. Then such a person, you see, they are burning and yearning for freedom. Health issues. Since from 3 years I'm facing health issues one after another, we have reached a conclusion with experience that no material thing can give you permanent happiness. I'm still feeling that I should be healthy and live a long life, but I don't know what I want to live. Body pains and my mind scares me that something wrong will happen with my personal identity. So I am ready to take a risk traveling all along to you if you assure me that I can lose my identity there. I do. But I see no reason why not, because when I see you, it's not identity that registers in my heart, you see? But the conviction that you are this person and trying to get out of it, then I cannot not see also. And to try and treat that, to say, we must be cured of this delusion. I'm using strong words, no? That we have to be cured of this habit that perpetuates delusion within ourselves. So you're not living the life that you could. I mean, in a sense you're saying that we have to pass through these states and these stages where at one time we are more deeply identified with the body-mind and the conditioning. But gradually, as you move, and if you're moving in the right environment, and if you're especially fortunate to meet a living and true Sangha, then this energy field will support your realization, you see. And then on top of which, if you are not hiding and you persist, I have to be free, you see. And then something must come out of that, because it's not your mind that says it wants to be free in that way. It denies your freedom. So there must be some other power in you, a deeper intelligence in you that recognizes I have to be free. And you're not going to be free as the ego. You have to be free from the ego. The egoic identity is like some kind of mask worn over the pure self that is giving some misreading, misinterpreting what is here based on personhood. And we are growing out of this. It takes a while, because some people come to satsang for the first time and they say, it took me so many months to really, really hear what you're saying. Because, the mind is commenting as you speak to try and somehow cancel out, the power of your words to reach my heart, and my mind is just blah, 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 blah. So, and when I saw this inside, I realized now that this relationship, I have to call it relationship, that we develop with the psychological mind is not healthy. Because I see now that for the first time there's a yearning in myself to come out of this limitation, and something is, sort of putting a lot of pressure to keep my attention only upon personhood. So I recognize now that there's a kind of enemy within. I don't, maybe even greater than any enemy without. So in spite of being, body pains and my mind scares me that something wrong will happen with my personal identity, I'm ready to take the risk of traveling to be with you. If you assure me that I can lose my identity there. I don't want to waste this life without realization. And thank you for taking my question from the person who wants to know who I am. Beloved Father, every day I do the invitation. Usually I start already from a quiet space. Today, I'm facing some strong energies playing as nervousness, irritation, and the need to cry to flush it out. My question is, do I wait to do the invitation when I feel more quiet and stable? If you wait, you see, you create a condition that it can only be done. First, I must let the mind have his little play, and then when he's finished, then he will allow me to do my invitation. So you don't make this deal. You don't make this deal. Because if you make a deal like that, then you can only go and sit when your mind relaxes or something. You see? If I say, then no, you leave all the, you see this mind, you yap, somehow. Listen, supposing you just, unexpectedly run into someone you used to be very close friends with them when you were at school. Say maybe 20 years ago. You were at school together. You didn't see each other for 20 years. And one day in the town, you just bump into each other at the bus station. And they're waiting for a bus now, which is coming in half an hour to go, and maybe you don't see them again. And you say, listen, why don't we just go and have a coffee in this restaurant? And the only restaurant that's available is full of people making a lot of noise and lots of drunken people and so on. But there's nowhere else. There's only 2 chairs left for you two. Now, if you imagine in such an environment which is so noisy, are you able to have an intimate contact with this friend? Are you or not? Yes. Yes. What will determine? Yes. The urge to not miss anything shuts out that noise. In the same way like that, you see. Do I wait to do the invitation when I feel more quiet and stable? Is it wrong to do it in the midst of a mind attack? Well, if you don't feel you're in a hurry, you can, maybe if you feel some mind storm, and you're not yet feeling the strength to take it on, then the best thing is just keep quiet and don't identify with this thought. If you do this, you're already in the process of inquiring into your nature in a very natural way. But you don't have to challenge and force the mind. When you're strong enough, mind is no match for you. When you're strong enough, when you're clear as to your true nature, the mind is no match for you. But when you're dreaming your life, thinking you're something you're not, he is going to give you a hard time. It's good also like that, because then you will know it's not enough to live on the present idea or identity that I'm holding on to. It's not enough for life. You'll have to live in a very tiny way, afraid to upset your mind. But when you overcome that influence, you see, you can live anywhere. Is it wrong to do it in the midst of a mind attack, looking also for some relief? Don't use self-inquiry or the invitation as a kind of, pain relief. Okay, it's okay, but that's not the purpose. Purpose is to wake up, to see clearly, So it's not some kind of, aspirin for the mind or something. Please clarify about this approach, since I don't want to give this to the person as a painkiller. Love you so much. Thank you, Paz from Argentina. So what's the question again? Okay, so today I'm facing some strong energies playing as nervousness, irritation, and the need to cry to flush it out. So if the crying comes and you, something, but even as the crying, if you find yourself crying, buckets of tears, okay, still it's possible to not identify. Some of you know this. You can watch it inside total serenity. You can watch it sing. You see, some people, if you identify too quickly, then you don't recognize that you can observe yourself crying, observe laughing, all kind of things you can observe. You see, like something is just not participating in that. Even very intimate things. Okay, so my question is, okay, calm down. So my question is, do I wait to do the invitation when I feel more quiet and stable? Okay, it's fine. Before the invitation came through grace, we were sharing on the basis of something called Atma Vaichara, which is self-inquiry. Self-inquiry is a very, very powerful tool, spiritual tool. It is so unsparing at exposing what is unreal, you see. And many of you have had the benefit of this, exercise and the practice of self-inquiry. Then when the invitation comes, whoa, you've got a double bazooka in your hand there. For nothing, it's so powerful. But so those of you who are familiar with inquiry will know that you say, see, what to do, what do I wait, for the mind to be quiet? Is it wrong to do it in the midst of a mind attack? If you're familiar with inquiry, that you take him on, even in the attack. You cannot win a fight when it's finished. So while it's going on, something is looking and checking. Okay, who is suffering this? Who is suffering this voice? It's like some serpent voice is speaking lies inside. And, but who is listening to it? On whom is it impacting, you see? And something keeps quiet and just scans without identifying. Who is the one? Who is the victim here? And some power begins to scan internally to see if it can identify the sufferer. And what does it find? It cannot be found. That's not an assumption, the sufferer I can't see. No, it is an experience that it doesn't it's nothing tangible, it's just an idea believed in that I am this. So the idea you have of yourself is suffering from ideas it has about itself. The idea you have of yourself is suffering from its own projections, like 2 steps out already. And gradually these things are becoming increasingly clear. Be steadfast and patient in your looking, and all of these things will be revealed for you. Because you're a human being, and the consciousness is manifesting the most powerfully in the human form. It has the capacity to contemplate itself, to recognize its own source as pure awareness. You see, if you were born a donkey, I don't think you would manage it. I don't see, rabbits getting together to have satsang. But we don't know. Maybe they have a different kind of satsang, like over carrots or something, they have perfect satsang. But, let's speak for our own species then. We have the capacity. This is why we are gathered like this. Because within us is the potential and the capacity to comprehend these things, to look at the functioning of the psychological mind, and to look at this phenomenon of personal identity, and to observe them from a place that we were not so conscious of, but then coming to realize that this place is always here. In fact, it's the only stable place against which everything else is passing. If you don't know this, then your life and the sense of yourself is passing. When you know this, your life, your thoughts, your emotions and feelings, everything is like a cloud passing. But you are like the sky, not passing.
Could I share something that happened since Friday?
Yes, here's one thing is coming to.
What you just said.
Yes.
After Friday's satsang, I went home and I was having all these realizations about where this strong identity came from, and I had memories, childhood memories of being an extremely insecure child, and it was like all pieces of a puzzle falling into place. But then all of Saturday, the mind was thinking, okay, insecure, you're just insecure. And when I arrived today at the dining hall, the first thing I felt was like that first day at school where you think that everyone is looking at you, even though everyone was minding their own business. And then I realized that I was eating and I couldn't eat because I just wanted to stick my head in the sand. And then I realized that the mind was already forming an identity with that realization rather than me letting go of it. And then I started to inquire into who is actually feeling these insecurities and who is the insecure one here. Show yourself. And in the non-finding, the whole thing just vanished.
Yes.
And then I spent the next couple of hours actually, based on something you pointed on Friday, actually inviting it back to see if it would show itself. And it just wouldn't. It's just not there.
Yes. Yes. And this is your power, because if your attitude was, I hope it doesn't come back. Oh, you will go, hello. You see? But you say, no, come. It's like when, if you're walking in the park or something and you're a bit scared of dogs, and you see a dog and you panic, you start to run. You're inviting him to come to. He wants to play, but you feel chased. You're climbing trees and stuff like that. But if he's coming at you, and then you turn around to him and says, "Come, boy, come," like this, whoa. The tail start to wag. It's different. Almost a little something like this. You say, okay, I've proven experientially that this thing, when looked for, doesn't exist. It seems to exist in some kind of blind spot. When I'm not conscious of myself, it seems like it's there. But the minute I'm looking for it, it's not found. So now, relief is felt. But then she was not enough satisfied. She said, no, listen, Mr. Mind, come back. Come where you go. Come. Throw your best punch. I'm here, come. And where is he? Is it that the mind is somewhere going? Or it doesn't exist?
It starts to go into another story.
It goes into...
You.
Say again.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Then when you invite it back, it's like, oh, okay, we need to think about booking the flight back home or blah, blah, blah. And suddenly you can, if you're not observing, you can go into a tangent, and then that thunderdome starts again, the battle of the mind with the person, with the identity.
Yes.
And you can very easily decide.
Take it away. If you can see through this, You see, that it's a shapeshifter, assuming different postures, and you see like this. And then, but whatever position it takes, if you're sitting on the mountaintop of your own being, you can see, without standing up and looking around, you can see all the different routes coming up to the mountain. You don't have to be looking at any map. Somehow, when you are here in that, you're seeing that all this is, when you ask, to whom is the mind speaking? Who is it speaking to? Who is it trying to frighten, you see?
It goes crazy. It goes crazy, doesn't it? It starts to make up other stories. It's amazing asking the question, because it's like one of those naughty children who try to distract you and take you away to another.
Yeah.
And then you have to stay on it. And it's quite sort of mentally exhausting, because it's non-stopping.
Yeah. Yeah. But it will continue to play, because, listen, the actors will not go on the stage until the audience is seated. Again, isn't it? The actors will not go on the stage until the audience are seated. Which means it cannot play to an empty room. There must be some interest to be looking at what it's doing. Then he plays. And he plays, you know, now you see me, now you don't. Hello? Wait, what you see? Now you see me? He can play because something is trying to figure. But if you pay attention to yourself, you see, the clouds are coming and going. Can they remove the sky? The waves are flowing. Can they exist independent of the ocean? Does the ocean say, oh, there are too many waves today, I'm not very ocean-like? No. Everything, it says, okay, that's the nature of that play. But it is aware, you are aware that you are here. You can live, you can exist without the play of that psychological mind. But it cannot exist without you. For whom will it play? For whom will it play? It's trying to play for that portion or that aspect of yourself which has had a previous relationship with it. But now relationships are also perceived. Now that which perceives relationship, is it in relationship? As you become more clear on this, the voice and influence of the mind it gets dissolved. It has no power. You see, it is like one hand clapping. It has to connect with another one. So if the thoughts are coming, if they don't connect with the thinker of the thought, they don't register as even appearing even. The greatest transcendence, in a sense, is when this type of mind play becomes insignificant for you. You lose interest in a thing, and it is effectively dead for you. You cannot be disturbed by something you have no interest in. When I say interest, I don't mean necessarily you like it. You can also really hate it. But that creates a link to giving it a certain reality for you.
I have to say, a lot of it has, I have lost interest in a lot of the thought processes I used to have. The stuff that's coming up now, it's, like I said on Fridays, a lot of the really subtle and hidden stuff that I didn't even realize were there, that are burning and washing away.
Yeah. There's two ways. One is that you continue as you are, scanning for them, scanning for any seeds of identity and burning it through your self-awareness. The other one is to be in the place of what I call zero. The meditation brings you to a place of like zero, above all things.
Completely, yes.
Yes? Now, it's not you being zero. You come to the zero in yourself. What does zero feel about any number? And yet, zero has no attitude. It's not like I have zero attitude. You see, when you come to the inquiry, something is almost as though you're out of that pot. You see, what is the criteria in order to be disturbed by the mind process? Some form of identity must be present. You see, it has to be trying to. The only way you can fail in somewhere, have the sense that you fail, is when the mind seduces you back into identity. Do you hear this or not? Yes. It has to be that, because every problem is personal. If you look at it, it's like, oh, why did I? And you're back into person again. But from the place of the Is-ness, it's just a sort of play. And you may, because even on the realization of the self, you still have a life, a body's here, a dynamic play, you still have a family and friendships are there, but they are now somehow being seen from the most pure place in yourself. So you're not going to be a victim of anything. You just understand that this is you are also part of the living theater of consciousness. It's playing like this. But it's now informed from a very, very much higher place. You're not so personal, you see? And things that would be previously sticky for you is not sticking anymore. It's like, I'm sure many of you have traveled around a bit. Some people have been traveling away from their usual home place, and some for 6 months, some for a year. And look what happened if you need to return home. You've been away for 1 year or 6 months. You return home to your usual place. And everything is still there. The same roads are there, the same houses are there, the same neighbors are there. Maybe some change, the kids have grown up a little bit or whatever, but you're in a very familiar environment. And yet, if people come to speak with you about gossips, it feels a bit detached from you. It's like it's a bit more distant, isn't it? You see? And sometimes if you interpret it in a weak way, you may start to feel, oh, I don't fit in anymore, and I just feel so lost, and I'm just so out of touch. But in the pure experience, it's very beautiful because you're not being touched and distorted and getting all mixed up in people's story and pulled into their energy field or something. You can listen with some distance, with some detachment. You're familiar with the space, but you're not being pulled into the noise of people's nonsenses or whatever. You see? So in a sense, the more you are coming home to yourself, so to speak, then the old scenarios don't trouble you. They don't trouble you.
I already noticed a big difference in you kind of lose interest in the gossip and things that aren't really divine expression.
Yeah.
And I've noticed my own expression is changing as well.
Yes, yes.
I mean, the person doesn't realize it, but it's ready to die now.
Yeah. Yes, yes. It's fading. It's fading what? It's fading out of the sense of importance. It's losing its virility as a powerful representation of what you are. You're finding the truth of yourself. You don't need even a self-image. Somehow it's just gradual. Now, it may gain life for itself if it manages to convey to you in some way that you're losing something essential. Because sometimes we don't know. Am I throwing the baby out with the bathwater? We have a saying. That maybe if I'm throwing everything out, maybe I throw away something valuable. It's not going to happen. You cannot throw the truth away. You might be blind to the fact that it is more here than you. The truth of yourself is more here than the idea you have of yourself.
The person has an identity, terrified completely. Like every 5 minutes I get a thought saying you should be going home and go back and plan your summer, etc., etc., etc. And my heart is just completely ignoring it.
I want to tell you something then, because I started satsang today and I said, I see many new faces. What brought you here? I only use the word grace that came here, no? But having somehow tasted just on the tip of the tongue of your being, the infiniteness of yourself, it is like nothing, a taste you cannot receive from this world. Okay? And you know what is likely to happen? No. The biggest resistance is going to come for you. You may think, wow, if I'm doing something that is good, why should all this stuff come? Maybe it's the first time you begin to recognize that there's a force operating within your own sense of being, and that is not going to assist you in your search for freedom. You see? If you don't want this, you probably will never become aware of this. That's just life. It's just how it is. But as you begin to look and you have a sense that there's a greater power here than your mindset, and something begins to open to it, you may start to feel tremendous space and experience something that is like, indescribable. But very often, the next retreat, I don't see many of those faces. I see some, but many I don't. Because the mind gives them such a whooping. You see? You think you're going to leave me. You got something coming. You see this type of stuff. Okay? And they panic. The mind gives you a boo and a few slaps, pop, 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 and you get back into line very quickly, like this. So this is what's happened for many. Nevertheless, that experience is not wasted. You are going to feel that, wait a second, at some point, because it is some seed is in you, a divine seed, a memory is in you, that just will take on that resistance from your mind. Otherwise, how can you be here? There are other beings who have been in Sangha for years, they're here. You see? You may say, but does it take that long? It can take all your life, maybe. And it can happen in an instant that your delusions are blown. You see? I am never disappointed to see the same faces. In fact, I'm never seeing the same faces, actually. But, it's like there's a persistence because I know what you've been through because I have also been through. You see? Also, one time in the early days when something was breaking through, at one point I was doing a kind of meditation and it's like something says, if you persist with this, you're going to become Quasimodo. Okay? Now, Quasimodo, that's not even something that's in my culture, you know what I'm saying? I saw once, many years before, it's a black and white film of Quasimodo, and it takes on this shape, here something bad is going to happen, you're going to be, hobbling along the road and stuff like this. All these things, it came. I said, oh my God. Okay. And because it was such a compulsion inside to keep pushing. Who can bear it? Some people, they give up. No, Quasimodo, no, whatever, Or, all your hair is going to fall out and all that. Any kind of strain, whatever it is that you're afraid of, it will come through this door. And you say, but why should these things happen? Why should this happen? Or if you are prone to feelings of arrogance, it will come up and tell you, why are you wasting your time with these people? They're peasants. They don't know anything. You know more. You don't deserve to be sitting in this place with them. And people, they start to, And next minute, you're on the bus going to wherever. Do I wait to do in the invitation when I feel more quiet and stable? Because the minute you make this compromise, you're going to have to always, the mind is always, when you want to sit in the mind will always come and you'll be waiting. Okay, can I do my thing now? Like you're at the mercy of the mind's play. No, you have to ignore. Is it wrong to do it in the midst of a mind attack? If you look at us and see if we can find who the mind is attacking actually, and see if it can be identified, then somehow you're going to break through this delusion, in fact. An illusion or a delusion is only strong for as long as you're identified with it. As soon as you see through it, it loses its power. Beloved Mooji, thank you with all my heart that you conduct us to truth. You conduce us. Conduce means, is it right terminology? Anyhow, you understand. Thank you for calling me. I'm incredibly happy and grateful that you made my life so beautiful. All your words get right into the heart, and this is the best thing that happened in my life. Every cell inside me are shining and singing after the satsangs. Thank you that you clean the way and let your words become the experience of the heart. The fire inside me burns as all false habits, surroundings, thoughts, and I give him everything to last. But I feel that I can be even stronger to experience such fire, which will burn everything at once. Please tell me, how can I strengthen my spirit? With warmth, love, and gratitude, Marina from Kiev. I feel that I can be even stronger to experience such fire, which will burn everything at once. Please tell me, how can I strengthen my spirit? If you continue to just confirm your place at and as the Is-ness itself, not just in a mental way, but having gone through it and having confirmed the questions, and just stay in that confirmation like this. It may seem an oversimplistic advice to tell you, maybe even naive to your mind, but it works. You see, the mind's play has always been to send you on a journey, to get you, do this and then. And all the while you don't realize that in the silence of your being, the truth is confirmed. You see? And this is what is happening now, you see? How to strengthen my spirit. There's nothing stronger than your spirit. It doesn't need strengthening, it needs honoring. Honoring, but not strengthening. So all the strength it gives life to life. Only on account of the egoic identity may you doubt your own power. And power in this way of my usage of it doesn't mean power over others. It means the power to know and be what you are. And to bless the world from your place of being. Yeah. Yes, come, what you want to say?
Eu preciso falar alguma coisa.
Your pants is falling off, but I see. Yeah, okay, come.
Eu estou tão longe dele.
Brazil? Okay, this one, come.
Eu estou muito longe.
I'm very far away.
Far away? Really? Oh, you want to come more close?
Yeah.
Okay, come.
Quer chegar mais perto? Não venha mais para mais perto, vai.
Here you can come.
Eu já posso ir embora agora.
I can go now.
Huh?
I can already go now.
Não tem nenhum problema. O que eu vou falar?
I'm having trouble here with what can I say? What am I going to say?
You don't have to say anything at all.
Você não
actually.
tem que dizer nada. Você não tem.
Eu não tenho nenhum problema, mas eu tenho umas coisas para dizer.
I don't have any problem, but I have some things to say.
Faz 5 meses que eu tive cá em novembro.
I've been here I was here 5 months ago in November.
E eu não vi a hora de voltar e de te encontrar.
And I couldn't wait to come back and to see you again.
Eu não consegui ir em Lisboa.
I didn't manage to attend the Lisbon intensive.
Não tinha como pagar para ir.
I didn't have the means to pay for it.
E a primeira vez que eu tive cá em 2011,
The first time that I was here in 2011,
não tinha nada aqui.
there was nothing here.
Tudo começou aí, tá vendo?
Everything started there, you see?
Everything started.
E nesses 5 meses, eu encontrei com você várias vezes no sonho.
And in these 5 months, I've met you many times in dream.
Aí você falava comigo. Foi os momentos que a mente estava tentando me subornar muito pesado.
And these were moments where mind was trying to engage my attention very heavily and to tip me, to bribe me. Sorry.
E eu vi que nesse encontro eu consegui perceber que Deus, como se fosse Deus bateu na minha porta.
And on these meetings, I could see that it was as if God was knocking on my door.
E disse: eu já te dei tudo.
And He was saying, I've given you everything.
Já te dei a água,
I've
a
given
luz,
you water,
o
light,
sol,
sun,
a terra, as
the
plantas. Você não precisa de mais nada.
the plants. You don't need anything else.
E realmente, e aí começou a me mandar um monte de coisas, assim, coisas, tudo que não precisava, e até um bebê. Até a
And
minha
then God
esposa.
started to send me a lot of things that I actually didn't need. Even a baby He's sending me now.
Que o Mooji, em novembro, o Mooji nos abençoou, agora olha o que deu.
In November, you blessed us, Mooji, and now that's what happened.
Am I getting blamed for all of this? I'm totally innocent,
Eu
yeah?
não fiz nada.
I didn't do anything, but look,
Alexandra,
You didn't do anything. Yeah, I was born yesterday too. Well done. Tchau.
E ela agora, a gente vive em Portugal. E aí, nesse encontro, que você me apareceu 3 vezes no sonho, nós conversamos.
In this dream where you appeared 3 times in the dream and we talked.
E eu percebi que... Porque estava uma confusão aqui.
And then I realized that it was very confused inside me.
Porque eu não estou no Brasil e estou em Portugal. E, ao mesmo tempo, essa confusão era que eu não pertenço a nenhuma sangha.
Because I'm not in Brazil and I am living in Portugal, and the confusion was that I don't belong to any sangha.
E nesse encontro eu vi que eu já sou a sangha, porque somos aqui no meu coração, porque quando Mooji apareceu, nós sentamos aqui no Sahaja em algum sítio e nós conversamos. E eu percebi que a sangha está dentro do meu coração.
And then I realized that actually I am the sangha, because I came to Sahaja and we sat somewhere in the land and we talked, and then I saw that the sangha is inside my heart.
Yes, good.
Eu não desejo nada, só desejo uma coisa, aquele pedido ainda da gente caminhar junto.
I don't wish anything. I only wish one thing, and it's the same thing, is that we always walk together.
Sim.
Mooji disse que vai acontecer, isso é a única coisa que eu quero na vida.
If Mooji says that is going to happen, this is the only thing I want in my life.
Sim, yes.
E se Mooji puder abençoar nosso bebê, Jasmine.
If Mooji can bless our baby, Jasmine.
Yes.
Jasmine.
Jasmine.
Baby.
Yes, yes. Yes, I do.
Chandra.
Chandra.
Chandra Luciana.
Chandra
Chandra
Luciana.
Luciana.
Da sangha do Brasil.
I'm mother.
Very good. Very nice. I am very, very. Yeah. Why you give her the microphone? He wants you to speak.
No. No, I know.
Okay, doesn't matter. But you asked, no, that that you receive blessing for this child is coming and for, healthy life, happy also life between you, and then that you all grow more into the perfect state of realization. This blessing is very joyful for me to give to you. You understand or not? Tell him.
He's saying that you asked for...
No, in Brazil you have to...
Você pediu que ele abençoasse o bebê, e ele abençoou o bebê, que muita alegria venha da existência dessa criança e da união de vocês. Algo assim.
Está bom? Yeah.
O que eu desejo mais, não é bem um desejo, mas se for possível, para essa criança, que eu condicione ela o menos possível, para que ela continue a ser esse ser livre, que ela vai vir, que ela seja 100%, isso que ela já é.
So my only wish for this child that is to come is that I'm able to actually give her the less conditioning possible, so that she can remain, or he can remain, or she can remain free as she is gonna come, as in her first moment in this earth.
Yes.
That she can remain free like that.
Yes, yes. Each one must pass through the destiny they came here to experience and transcend. No?
Todos temos que passar por isso. Nós viemos aqui para experienciar e para transcender.
But if they receive from you, if the parents are awake, or at least they are dedicated to awakening,
Mas se os pais estão despertos, ou pelo menos dedicados a se despertarem,
then that child is coming into the perfect environment
Então essa criança está vindo no ambiente perfeito.
To have a life, the life that you say you wish for them.
Para ter a vida que você deseja para ela.
Yes. Yeah.
Eu não esperava isso nessa altura da minha vida.
I didn't expect this at this point of my life.
You didn't expect what?
This at
Yeah.
this point of my life.
Ah, it's-
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I feel you're going to do very well because your attitude is so light and so beautiful, you know.
Eu acho que você vai se sair muito bem porque a sua atitude é muito leve.
Not just attitude, but your spirit, you know. So,
Não apenas a sua atitude, mas o seu espírito também.
yeah. And that you have an attraction for what is true. You have this desire in your heart, so it has to go well.
E você tem essa atração, esse desejo no seu coração pelo que é verdadeiro, então tudo tem que sair bem.
Especially if you honor what you have been shown. No?
Especialmente se você honrar isso que você tem mostrado. Ou isso que tem sido mostrado para você.
Sim, é isso que é mais... Como que eu vou falar isso? É isso, porque eu vim parar aqui nesse país sem saber porquê.
That's it, because I ended up in this country not knowing why.
Yes.
Sim.
Yeah. Yes. It's good.
É a graça divina, talvez.
Grace.
Yeah?
It's grace.
Grace.
Divine grace.
Yes, yes. I also ended up in this country not knowing why.
Eu também vim parar nesse país sem saber porquê.
Eu cheguei em 2010, 2011 eu entrei no Sahaja pela primeira vez.
I came in 2010 and in 2011 I came to Sahaja for the first time.
Sem saber como.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Depois eu percebi, é isso.
And then I realized, oh, that's it.
Yeah. Yes. Only with hindsight you can be grateful to grace.
Hindsight?
Looking back. After it happened, you know, you say, okay, so this is what, you know.
Só olhando para o que já aconteceu, você pode dizer que foi a graça.
Sim.
Okay, very good. Muito bom, muito bom.
Eu sou muito feliz.
Muito feliz.
Eu muito feliz.
Very happy.
Yes.
Eu sou tão feliz que eu nem sei o quanto sou feliz, na verdade.
I'm so happy that I don't even know how much I am happy. How happy I am.
Yes, yes. Yeah, we say also in Sahaja, you hear many people say, you know, it's too much happiness.
A gente também fala aqui no Sahaja, é muita alegria, alegria demais.
You see?
Sim, yeah.
We're not really complaining. We're
A
just
gente
saying,
não está realmente reclamando,
it's just thankful for the grace. No?
só estamos agradecidos, gratos à graça.
É isso só.
That's it.
You see, good.
Quando eu posso vir para dar um passeio contigo?
When can I come to walk around with you?
When you like.
Quando você quiser.
Tá bem.
Okay? One way. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, love. Thank you. So. Dear Guruji, last year during the August retreat, the doer, contemplator, got so frustrated with itself that I finally tried the inquiry on who is trying to get it, or just whose thoughts are these. That night, I felt your presence with me, and I started inquiring in my dreams. It was like my being was exploding, and the next day I sat with it, and I started seeing from a deeper place the subtle thoughts and sensations with no name. However, after lunch, the mind took over the inquiry, and it became what you call paranoid inquiry, where there was like a dog chasing its own tail, with thoughts like, oh, should have caught that one. Oh, but that's another thought. Oh no, I am getting confused. And eventually, I gave it up because it felt like stirring up more doership again. I have been doing the invitation and staying with the sense of being, and it has eroded the doer somewhat, but he still maintains a strong grip. How does one avoid doing inquiry with just the mind? Can you say something, or is it just like learning how to ride a bicycle? Many thanks. Still meditating, Matthew in Hong Kong. Okay, so I've been doing the invitation and staying with the sense of being, and it has eroded the doer somewhat. So the sense of the one doing, that has been softened out somehow. But he still maintains a strong grip on who? You must look. You have a feeling, oh, he's still there, he's still holding on. He's still holding on. No? But to what? To the one who observes the sense of holding on? Is it holding on to the one who is observed the sense of holding on and who is detached from that feeling? Is it holding on? Does it have the power to hold on to the weakness? Or is it holding on to some shape the weakness still projects that it is also that? As you stay with this question, you see, stay with it. You know, it will keep going in and out of focus. When you come to a question where the mind is cornered, no, you will tend to find you're blurring out. Like, whoa, sorry, what was the question again? And if you find it's fading, you can't hold the question, write it down and hold the question. Don't keep repeating it verbally necessarily, but just hold on to the understanding of what you're asking, you see, like that. Because the mind will keep on throwing some stone in the bush so that you forget what you're looking at, you see. It will do it, you see. But you just keep, yes, but that is also seen. What is it holding on to? And at a certain point, if you hold it to your ground, you may find something like this happening in you. His power come out like that. Don't start celebrating though. Just don't say, good, thank you. No. Still keep the question, you know. What are you holding on to? What is it holding on to? You see? But don't be confused by that. It's a very sober question. Don't put any passion in it. Just you are doing your research to look, what can he hold on to? Because previously it feels the mind is holding on to, still holding on. To what is it holding on? And you see that it is holding on is only an idea that has been strengthened by belief. When you try to look, you stay with him. You look for him again, you can't find him. And like this, it gradually loses its power. It may come again, but not so strong. And each time you apply the same approach, the same attitude, look for it. Rather than simply accept the conclusions the mind is forming. You see, question them like that. That is the way. So you say again, I've been doing the invitation, staying with the sense of being, and it has eroded the doer feeling somewhat, but he still maintains a strong grip. You see, so again the question, a grip on what? The weakness is the weakness trapped in the bubble of that scenario. Is the weakness caught in the bubble of that scenario that is being witnessed, you see? You can only prove that. Then you see that, it just exposes, it's just a thought, you see.
Excuse me, my Lord.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Namaste, my Lord.
Namaste.
I don't want to lose my chance. Something inside is burning. It was 4 years ago I met you inside here when I was begging as a person to become somebody, to have something, to do something. The life brought me in the suffering. And in 2015, grace brought me at your feet in London. Question in my heart was, Lord, I follow your pointing. I discovered the seer, but in order to be the one with the seer, I want to be in your ashram for some time. But as all of us, though, I got married and I got divorced. Fruit of this marriage is a daughter. Because in that time, she was 2 years. So I didn't have the courage to come up in 2015 and say this. Inside my heart, this question was, Lord, I have to look after my daughter and I have to support her, but this fire inside is burning. And to respond with the two other brothers, you said, be like flowers. In England, they grow middle of the brick everywhere. They're not beautiful flowers, but as soon as they grow, butterfly, they die for it. So I take your be strong. That's what you said to me. So I take that message inside me. It takes me 3 years to focus to this self, to the seer is everything. So every day I listen to you, and now the one this brought me at your feet. I have fully faith in my heart. You can set me free today and now.
Then show me how you're bound.
I am not bound. I'm aware of this here, but I smell like a person. Some smell like a person.
Yes.
And
when you are aware of the seer, are you, apart from the seer, being aware of the seer? No.
I am aware of this energy field within myself. I am aware, but still.
The energy field is also seen. The energy field is also seen. The absolute self cannot be described as energy. Maybe energy comes from it, but it cannot be defined as energy. Energy is movement also. Just come again. Let everything, just leave everything to go by themselves. Leave everything. Don't control anything for the moment. Just, you may observe, but don't control them. Just stay in the place that you can verify that you're witnessing all these things, the emotions, the feelings, the memories, the stories, the sense of not being there, whatever that may mean, and whatever, all these things. They are, sensations arising inside the awareness field itself, you might say. You just stay as the awareness itself. Is it possible or not?
Yes, possible.
Yes. Is it something that you have to maintain?
No.
Because I say this because, of course, sometimes the attention, you like a reflex, go back to the old patterns and the old regime of identity personally. That is understandable. But when that happens, you must be asked, but can that be seen or not, that that movement has occurred? To the ultimate witness, has anything happened to itself? Can the movements of the clouds hurt the sky?
No.
See, it's very important for me to put it in those words because, it only from the place that you can verify that there's only awareness here. There's not even the sense I and awareness anymore. I'm not separate from awareness. My speech comes from awareness. My body appears in the awareness. Actions appearing in the awareness. Memory appearing in the awareness. And they come and go in the awareness. They rise and fall in the awareness. The awareness is the constant. The rest are variables. The sense of someone achieving something, I did this and I did that and then finally I did this. This I feeling must be really scrutinized, This feeling of the I, the seeker, still is persisting in a form of doership. What can I do now? Because I did this, I did everything. Now I'm aware. I'm aware of the self, I'm aware of the... You are speaking as who? As what are you speaking, you see?
I know in my heart is a person or myself is a barrier or issue. So
it's an issue for who?
As you described, two kings cannot be in the one kingdom.
Yeah.
So I have to surrender this I, this person I, at your feet.
If you watch the sense of the personal I and see if it has the power to overshadow the weakness of it, that is greater than putting it at my feet. If you yourself will pay attention to the sense of this personal self and watch, is it possible with all its apparent power to replace the weakness of it and experience the response to this question? Can it eclipse or erase the weakness? Can it be greater than the weakness of it? And then you will prove that it itself is only a shadow, it is not the real. When you know this, you will not give so much value and importance to this I person. And it will fade in its influence and in its sense of potency, you see. That's all that needs to happen. It is the same sense of I carrying a personal smell that is making everything else smell. We think that the I person is a fact, whereas I know it is fiction. Similarly, you must know him as fiction, you see. When you know it as fiction, you don't want to read that book. You don't need. A sense of personhood might still play after the realization of the self, but it's so superficial, you see. It is like taking out the fangs and the poison from the serpent. Then you can let the children play with him. Because you've taken out the venom. You know? What is this venom? This is me. I am the one who is doing. When that is gone, he's harmless. It looks like it's real. There's an example in India. It says like, you want to tie up your cow and you see a burnt rope. Can you tie up your cow with a burnt rope? The burnt rope, the ashes look exactly like a rope, but you cannot use it to tie up anything. The ego will become like that. But while you have the belief, your belief imbues it with power. It's not the ego, it's your belief that has the power. You see, a thought without belief has no power. Whereas a thought with belief or identity can start a war. Or it can begin to heal a nation's pain. It's your belief empowers the sense of separation. If you want, we can arrange for you to come spend a little time more here with me, and we can take a look at that.
I love to.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the final thing, yes? No, you come and speak then, just come here and talk.
It's difficult to talk.
Take the microphone down more.
I'm shaking.
It doesn't matter if you're shaking.
It seems it's getting more and more and more unbearable to carry on this suffering. Every day is a torture for this me.
For what is torture? For why you should be tortured? For why? I said before, no? You are not experiencing life out there, you think you are. But the experience of life takes place inside you. If you are free of ego, your life will be beautiful. If you are full of ego, your life will be miserable. Okay? If you are free of ego, your life will be harmonious. It will be more it will be a flow. It will be graceful. But if it is still holding on to identity, you cannot speak one word of what you're saying if you are not identified. It must be that you are courting identity. You're really holding on to the sense of yourself, even as a seeker or whatever it is, but it's an identity there. And
No, is that is unbearable.
Yes. What is unbearable? The identity or what the identity is suffering?
The
fear.
Identity.
Living every day terrified, hiding.
Huh?
Living every day terrified, hiding in my home.
Yeah.
And the body is dying, is losing strength.
Yeah.
Day after day, the body is dying.
Yes.
And I don't have time.
Yes. All this is mind. All this can change today. But will it? Because there is a fierce loyalty to your identity. Even though it is hurting, something is still holding. What is it that you are so, you need from identity so much as to be taking the whip of your ego?
Guilt.
Huh?
Guilt. Guilt.
Guilt.
Guilt.
Guilt. Guilt. Yes. Yeah. This is it's one of the things. It will get you on something. Guilt, shame, you see, undeservingness, whatever it is that you are susceptible to that thing. It's guilt, if I didn't do that, and I again, doer. If only I didn't do this, then this would, I again, he catch you. And everywhere he finds you, he's going to spank your ass. He's going to do it.
But it's growing. It seems it's growing.
Huh?
It's growing. It's growing. The fear is growing and growing. Is what brought me courage to call you, because.
And what is the fear? What is the message in the fear? What is the poison in the fear? What is the dose of the fear? Tell me.
Expose myself.
Meaning what?
I will be destroyed.
You will be destroyed by what?
By others.
When you mean this, expose yourself, a different kind of exposure. Exposure for some people is okay. For other people is sharing something you feel is a dark secret, and then people are going to know about it.
I think it's what came, this thing. I don't want this fear of expose myself.
Then you better expose it right now. Which is going to be greater, exposing yourself or the whips of your ego?
The whips, sorry.
When the ego is. Or exposing yourself.
To expose.
Exposing is worse.
Now is bringing relief. Relief is coming.
When you expose.
Now is coming.
Expose on. No, you have to do it. I know it sounds easy to say, expose it, when inside your mind that is the worst thing. No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
Yes.
It's your mind that is afraid of exposure.
Mind was telling me to be very quiet.
Oh, yeah. He's really your friend, isn't it? Huh? Why suddenly be quiet now?
Because I was like a lot of time in India with Ananta, and mind came in a very reactive way, and I was exposing all the time in the worst way I can imagine a person expose itself. And I came in August, and it came the opposite. Like now I must be very closed. I cannot engage with others because it came like a paranoid mind.
And I'm
still ashamed of the paranoia because I have some kind of mental illness, I think.
Actually, all are mentally ill.
Yes.
On this planet.
But it seems this mind is like the worst. It seems this mind, I know this is arrogance, but it wants to be like the worst. And I want to be free of this need of being the worst mind.
How can we trust her? When will she? I mean, what is going?
Because it doesn't seem so meaningless. So it doesn't seem. I was not even imagining that I was able to talk, because in India nobody was understanding one word that I was talking, and it came like this thing about you must be quiet and quiet and quiet. And
when you vomit out, then you can be quiet. Isn't it? Yeah, nobody enjoys vomiting, no?
But problem is when I'm alone at home, mind is still...
Well, you're not alone now.
But mind is becoming more silent that when I'm alone at home with all that persons. In my mind. Well, I'm not talking about hallucination. I'm talking about the mental noise.
Well, in the end, we're all alone, actually, in a sense. You can be alone as a person, or you can be alone as everything.
Difficult to hear.
Yeah.
I will be free.
We have
Guruji.
developed a kind of relationship with suffering. You know, don't make anniversaries out of your pain. We develop a relationship with suffering, and you know, something. You're getting something. The mind is getting something out of. Who is benefiting out of this? You see?
Nobody.
Nobody.
But it seems so difficult.
Yeah.
The way it comes in the body, sometimes I cannot find any space.
Yeah. Who are you speaking as right now? Slow down, you know, catch hold of my question. Who are you speaking as right now?
I was speaking like as the person.
Yes. Yeah. Isn't the person also perceivable in you? The sense that position, that feeling of personhood, is it not something watched in you, in a space within yourself? Is that capacity not there?
Yes, but sometimes it's still mind. Sometimes it's like mind watching mind,
Yes.
not space.
And what knows this? What perceives that sometimes it is the mind watching the mind? Well, what watches that?
Something that must be neutral.
Where is that something which is neutral right now?
It's here. Also with the lot of burning that is happening.
Yeah. A tremendous amount of investment and identity has been invested in identity, personhood, you know? But
Yes.
it comes from the consciousness. It's a play that it's making. Maybe it wants to feel intensely confused, and it wants to experience the sense of being a victim to the mind or something. You see, for a while, maybe it is like that. At the consciousness of the person level, you're not aware of that. But when I ask for you, but are you not seeing this thing also? You see? Then do you feel any urge to follow my guidance in that point? Or is it more urge to keep telling about how bad the mind is to you? Where is the energy going? In identifying as the person and telling the story of how the mind is beating you and I can't take anymore and it's too much and nobody wants to live. You know, because sometimes when the help you say you want comes, it finds you still complaining about your situation rather than taking the medicine. I'm asking you, can you look? Are you not capable of seeing? Well, I know this, you see. Yes, but you, I don't know if you're ready to admit that or if you see that.
That I'm still attached for the suffering more than to follow your guidance.
Yes, I'm going to try take a risk with you.
I know you can know what is going on here.
But
Guruji.
the one who says even, but I'm going to, I can, what did you say, the last words you say? Say it again.
The last words, it was, before I don't know. if you are saying that I'm more attached for the identity, also if it brings that suffering, that go with you, like something like that.
Yes, and you who are attached to it, if you are attached to it,
To the victim.
yeah, are you speaking as the Is-ness itself or as a victim?
I avoid the Is-ness. There are minds telling you cannot find space. Still a lot minds saying you cannot find space.
Who is it speaking to? Identify.
Mind, it seems that with me is always worse than with others because I have...
It is speaking to the consciousness dressed in the concepts you choose to accept as who you are. Because it cannot speak directly to the pure consciousness. It would be ridiculous. It can only have that kind of conversation with, because the mind is illusion, and the one it's speaking to is also illusion. But whose illusion? There must be a deeper awareness that is not, as I said, captured in that scenario that you're describing. It's altogether completely independent of it. Yeah? So this is why I ask, are you, an object in front of the lens of perception, or are you behind? Are you the seer of all that's going on, or are you the one being seen as a victim? Or are you in both positions?
There are fear about be without any identity. Now I could see it was possible.
But your identity is suffering, and then there's fear about being without any identity, which is the cause of suffering.
It came now the perception of like attachment for the suffering, for not be in touch with the unknown.
What I'm saying is perhaps there's a fear, the fear of losing identity is appearing to be greater than the willingness to end your suffering. Would that be true?
Can I go through this fear?
Yeah. Something is insisting on a certain position, and the position is the position of I, standing in the position of personhood. And you want me to cooperate with that position to say, can I go through that? And I'm showing you that I is a lesser position in your potential as the infinite self. You're defining where you want to be positioned at. And I'm saying that position has been completely whipped by the ego, which you, the greater self, are in the position to see that. But there is a strong field of identity there that is telling itself, like, I don't want to lose myself. You're going to bear the suffering until I'm over it, but the very identity is also the cause and the door through which the suffering is coming.
It's like still mind wanted to manipulate you, like you save me in the way it seems like something wanted to call you from outside for save me. Take the suffering for me. And not to put myself in the position of, it is me that...
You take whatever help you can get until you move beyond the need for help. Otherwise, it's just a kind of false pride. I'm asking for help outside, I should be able to do it for myself. Are you doing it for yourself? One day you'll see that all of this is yourself. Every help you need came from yourself in the form of other. You You see, the ego limits you to the state and the position of a personal self. Actually, you are the universal self, appearing as merely a person for the time being.
It's where the guilt comes. I feel like you like the image of God, and I feel always apart. So it needs that I need to get help from outside. It's difficult to put myself as the awareness itself. As
What about if everything is inside?
but I know by mind, but it's difficult to trust. So much fear is coming, is burning.
You want to wake up to the truth as an identity. And the identity is disguising the truth. You say that there's a fear of losing identity.
It came very strong, the fear of loose identity, yes.
Yeah. Well, it's the only chance you have.
What you said?
It is the only chance you have. You must go beyond the present limitations of identity.
I know.
When will that step be taken then? You know, I made a little bit of a story, which it actually turns out to be true. And that there was, in a certain village in India...
it's getting difficult to go, like I'm feeling like this.
Yeah, right now, I will need to tell people something, and you try and see if you can understand. Listen, John, try and listen to what I'm saying.
Mine is like getting like this, like I'm losing conscience.
Your mind is what? Okay, let her sit down for a minute. That's it. Nice. Okay, good. She's fine. She'll be fine. And this is all this that you're seeing. Your mind can do this. If you don't want to listen to something, your mind can behave like this. I was once in the United States, and I was staying in one place, and a guy came and said, "Oh, Mooji, you're here. I can't believe you're here. Oh, wow, I've been watching you for so long. I'm so interested in you," and blah, 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 blah. And then he was asking me about my teaching. And so I brought the teaching, because I can't explain my teaching. I said, I can work with you. Then as we started to talk, he couldn't take the pointing to say, "Yeah, but where are you standing?" and so on. So he was like this. And after a while, what happened is that each time I said something, he says, "Mooji, you're fantastic. You're fantastic. You are just the best." I said, yeah, but I'm talking about you here. He said, "About me? There you go, you're fantastic." So he was kept on deflecting what I'm speaking. At some point, the phone rang. Yeah. Huh? Okay, Mooji, sorry. Okay, 2 minutes. Never see him again. Okay? So it's similar thing. All this thing is the mind. It's like a possum. It's playing. It's nothing at all. It is like this. But it can play with your cooperation. It is like this. Huh?
This one, I did not knew this one.
Yeah.
It's always mine.
Yes. It can do all these things. You see? What I was telling you was in a certain village, they were having problems with this some monkeys were raiding the village, and they were just making a nuisance of themselves. They were just smashing up things and jumping around and pulling off the thatch off the roofs and all this thing. Taking the bananas, of course, was the first thing. So after a while, the villagers could not bear it anymore, and they gathered enough money to send for like a monkey catcher, basically. So the expert comes one day, and he just sits and he watches the monkeys come and they play around, watch them one thing. And then he said, okay, all right. So they said, aren't you going to do something? He said, what? So the next morning early, the monkey catcher comes, and he walks very nice and easy. He comes and he brings one coconut, which he opens up, no? And somehow it was like scraped everything out. And then what happened is that he puts a hole in the one part of it and tie a string, a strong cord, almost a rope around the coconut. And there's a hole, he made a hole just big enough, a small hole like this, just big enough for a monkey to put his hand in through the hole, like this, okay? And then he ties the string to one tree, and he takes a very sweet banana, peels it a bit, puts it inside. Very pungent smell. Then he told, hide all the bananas, and he put this thing there. So he just sits and waits. He's smoking his cigarette. So surely at a certain times the monkeys come, and they come usual antics. And the ringleader, the main guy, he comes, he looks around, and he smells. He can smell something sweet. It looks, and in a short time he finds the coconut. Trying to look inside. He smells banana, no? And then he put his hand, just gets the hand in, and he grabs the banana. But because he make a fist, the fist can't go through. So, yeah. But the fist can't go through. Now the monkey catcher is coming, walking towards him now. He has a bag, and he got the machete and everything coming. The monkey is going crazy. He's jumping around, he's yanking the thing, he's banging the coconut. He thinks that the coconut has trapped him. You see? All he needs to do is to let go of the banana, and he's gone. But he can't let it go. Monkey catcher is coming. Monkey catcher knows monkey mind. He's coming. And then he grabs him, you see, and he squeezes his hand, and he had to let go, get him out, and he ties him up. That's how we catch the monkey. We are holding on to something, but you forget you're holding on to it. Then you think that this thing has trapped you. But the coconut is not trapping anybody, it's just a hole. But because he wants it to make a fist, he can't get it out. What you holding on to that make you feel that all this stuff is coming and like that?
Guruji, I don't know. I don't know.
The banana in this case is your identity.
But why?
Why?
If it brings suffering, if it brings suffering, why I'm holding on?
Because somewhere inside is another lie that if the identity goes, you are going to lose consciousness and everything that you think about yourself.
But
it's one of the great aces up the sleeve of the mind.
But I was losing conscience. It was still mind pretending, because I never lost conscience in life. I have a lot of fear of lose control.
Yeah. But that's an exaggeration. What control you have? You see, that's another illusion. You have the fear of losing control. What control do you have?
Actually, in a practical sense, I'm losing the control of everything in my life, more each day, more and more and more. So that's why I feel the body will die and mind will not.
That's what the mind says.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm feeling die physically.
But again, the mind can make you feel like that. Very often people in satsang, when they start to experience more deeply, they have the sense they're going to die. So many doctors are called after satsang.
I don't have strength to go to the doctor anymore. I lie all the day in the bed.
Yeah, you're a later case. You're a bit further you're a bit further down the road, but usually the people, they have a sense, oh my God, I'm going to die and die. Because something is dying. The unreal is dying or fading away.
Oh, it is.
What you are cannot die. This is something you have not really...
And at the same time, mind is saying you'll never be free. You are trying so hard, all this. Mind is trying so...
Yeah, he's such a friend, huh? Can you imagine your best friend, your most intimate associate, you know? You are never going to be free.
The body will die.
Forget about it. Huh?
I will be free, Guruji. Okay, I know I am free, but,
You know,
but this mind will...
that's nonsense talk now.
But relief is coming because it went the fear of expose.
But what have you exposed? What did you expose?
Burden.
Huh?
Burden.
No, there's something to you may feel, you know, to vomit up, no? And you came and said, I got to really vomit something up or something. And now you came and you went, burp. And I said, well, I did vomit.
Yes.
But I don't even feel there's any vomit, really, to be not necessary, even, if you really see and understood. The mind is creating a lot of the sickness, and it can turn into a physical sickness also. The worst thing you can do for any sickness is keep your ego.
Because there are the belief that the body is not prepared for awake. There are a strong belief. Many psychotherapists told me that I had no structure for life, and still this belief is here.
Listen,
I
don't
to
blame
myself.
the mind at all. The mind is doing its job perfectly, right? You, on the other hand, okay, have all the power to transcend the delusions and the cunningness of the mind. That's what we're here to do. That it will speak, you start to see that it speaks many things which are untrue. You have the ability, you have the capacity, you are already the self, you have everything on your side, you have the advantage, and you're not using it. You see? Yes, everyone suffers identity. No one, escapes initially. But little by little you grow through experience, through faith, through the evidence of your trust in God or in your teacher's pointings or whatever. You make a move, something grows, something becomes more refined. You seem to be holding out like whatever happens, you keep telling the story about how guilty and how much the mind beats you, and I would love to help you, but it's like, you...
A lost case.
Can I say something?
Yes, go on, say it.
I think that sometimes collectively we don't even notice, but we become a channel as well of non-productive awareness. So sometimes, just before, we were in such a loving energy, and thank you all for that. And I think sometimes we don't realize that unconsciously we become a channel for disturbing what was getting higher. So I think sometimes getting in all that mind playground, it's also to lower, to get your conscience lower. So maybe it's also important to try to pay attention to that, why you are trying to continue in that mode. It's not just because of you, it's also collectively. So try to also to observe that.
She's not hearing any of that, actually. Yeah.
She says that I'm taking something from the collective. I don't know.
Maybe you're not meant to get it.
But I'm looking at you, and I'm not afraid in this moment, Guruji. Sometimes, many times, I look at you, and I feel so much fear.
One time in satsang, some man was been fooling around in satsang for quite a while, you know, always checking out the girls and always doing something like this. And you know, so one day he wrote a letter to Papaji, and then he came up and he was talking like this and so on. And Papaji said, listen, don't put any more effort, because you know what? You are not destined to wake up in this life. You maybe have another 3 or 4 lives to live. Well, it was devastating for him. The Master said, don't waste, don't bother. This life is not for you, not for waking up for you. He was so devastated by that what happened? He totally changed. He stopped monkeying around. Another man came to one master, and they were saying, you know, I've been listening to your talks, and I don't feel that I'm getting anywhere. After 6 years, I'm not getting anywhere. The master said, really, nowhere? He said, no, we are not getting anywhere. So the master said, come here a minute, show me your hand. Okay. Oh, excuse me, get my glasses. Huh? Oh my God. So, the devotee said, oh, sorry, is everything okay? I wish I'd done this before. I'm sorry, it's too late. You only have 10 days to live. I had a feeling, but I didn't. Sorry, I checked you. Just, well, nothing I can do for you. Go and do what you have to do. So this man went home, and he's burning, and such a fire is burning. And so his wife came. He was quite a wealthy man. His wife came and says, you know, darling, you're late for dinner. You know, he says, dinner? What's wrong with you? You know, why should I'm not interested in dinner? You know, I got only 10 days to live. Why are you telling me about dinner being warm or cold? I don't care about these things anymore. Next day she came. They said, oh, you know, they called from the office. You didn't go into work today, and they want to know what. I'm waiting for your decision about this deal that's coming in. What deal? Big deal, small deal. What is that to me? I've only got 9 days to live. Why am I concerned about these things, you know? Sorry, you know, tell my deputy, let them sort it out. Next day again, they come, your friends have called, you know, they are meeting on the golf course for a round of golf. Golf? What do you think, I have time for all these things anymore? I mean, what's the point of playing golf? I'm going to be dead. I'm trying to put something in a hole. I'm going to be in a hole in 7 days. And like this, one by one, after 4 days, you know, the children are having their end of term play at school. And, you know, darling, come on, get dressed, you know, the play tonight. Play? This whole life is a play. What a horrible play. You know, I only got 3 days to live. I ain't going to go to school. How can I be happy in front of my children? I'm going to be dead in 3 days. And like this, he went on. He was figuring out, oh, I'm going to die. Why? How is life? So he started to contemplate. One day to die. one day to die. It's anniversary. Wife, darling, I got you a nice set of golf clubs for our wedding anniversary. What did you get me? What can I get you? In one day I'm dead. What can I get you? A new husband? You know? I am no more in one day. I'm not here. So on the day come now, the Guruji went to his house and knocked. The wife come. He said, where is he? Oh, he's been in the room since yesterday. I think he's probably dead. So Guruji knocked on the door. He comes. Who is it? It is I. Guruji. Yeah. Guruji. Yes. Guruji. That was a clever one, Guruji. I was dying every day since you told me I'm going to die in 10 days. And as I'm looking into it, I'm more coming to life, Guruji. And today, I am supposed to be dead, and I'm more alive than I've ever been in my life. Thank you for this thing. You found a way to speak to my heart, because I was too complacent, too busy to give any real time to the teaching. But now you told me I have 10 days to live. I just could think. I think of nothing. Before this, I put everything before the teaching. But now I left everything just for what you told me. I had to solve this riddle, you see. Yeah. I had to die before I die. And now I'm alive because of you. But who will make use of this? Okay. Thank you. Good. Thank you. Love you. So good. Huh? Yes. So I think we have some music coming again, no? Like that. Some letters were not read today. Huh? Thank you. That's fun here. So I will read these another moment. before we go, I just wanted to remind you, those of you who participated in the retreat that just ended a few days ago in Zimar, and whether you were actually in the retreat or you participated online on the retreat, we spoke about the invitation toolkit, which is really a compilation of pointers and short videos to help you to strengthen your and remind you of your seeing, and if any problems appear to come up and so on, that you will find some answers, some guidance to support this new phase in your awakening and so on. So I was assured by Siddhartha that they were all been sent out. So if you have not looked in your email, those of you must look and then start to make use of it. Because we know that in the past, sometimes people have a beautiful retreat, and then as soon as they go back or go home or something, the doubts start creeping in and so on. Which is fine if you are established in the self more clearly. Then they will appear as though they have some power, but quickly their spell is broken. You see? If you're finding that you're having any of these kind of challenges, then go and look into this invitation toolkit. It will be made available for everybody very soon, but we went ahead to send this to all the participants first, and I think it will go up online at some point soon. So it is now online. Thank you. Good. Thank you. Who came from Spain? Where are you?
Okay, here.
Yes.
We love you.
Love you. Lovely. Good. Have a nice journey back. And see you soon.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. Thank you. Oh.
Love you.
Love you. Wonderful. Santosh. Thank you, my love. Yeah.
Let's give the gathering.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Love you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Good. Oh, Mama, wow. Muito feliz, muito obrigado, Mama. Ai, Thank you. Wonderful. Okay, wonderful. Love you. Wish you luck.